Look pretty cool though.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Red Dawn Readiness. Appreciate you coming to tune in with me at my channel. I'm going to cover a few things, some of the basics, and a little guide here for beginners who are getting into prepping and survival. Even if you're not a beginner, maybe I can give you a couple ideas to increase your ability and help you prepare a little bit better. So if you're just getting into prepping, then these are some of the basics that you're going to want to make sure that you cover. And I have 8 survival tips and focuses. So hopefully you'll find these valuable to you. My first survival tip, if you're just getting into this, is probably well known to a lot of people who are into the prepping and preparedness community. But obviously the first thing is going to be water. So you need water. The rule is, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, 3 minutes without air. Any of those 3, you're most likely going to die. So water is going to be your number one prep, and you're going to want to either store water, which I suggest you do both, is store water and then also have a way to filter water. So filtration methods could include a Berkey filter or an AquaPure Pro. These are really great financial savers as well, even in current times. If you're buying bottled water all the time, it gets very expensive. So I would suggest a water filtration system of some kind, zero water or some of the other filtration methods that are out there, and then also having backups and a supply of filters. Water's very important, so that's the number one. Also, just to finish off about the water section, is education is going to be valuable in all of these different categories. So an education that you could do is learn how to make a homemade water filter using elements from natural things like carbon, sand, leaves, and rock. Those are going to be the main things that you would put into a homemade water filtration system. So do some research, and if you have the time, learn how to make a homemade water filter. My second most valuable item or category is going to be food. Food is, the 3 weeks without food. And without that, you're going to be in a pretty bad situation. So food is number 2. And you are going to want to have a variety of food. So I suggest canned food and dried food, your beans, your pastas, your rice. Those things, if you store them properly, can last almost indefinitely. Canned food as well lasts an extremely long time, way past its best by date. That's why it's a best by date. Some maybe put expiration, but it's really a best by date, and canned food lasts a lot longer than that date that's on there, especially if you're storing it properly. So I would have a variety of those. I would have a variety of long-term food storage, My Patriot Supply. There's a lot of different companies out there that you could get long-term food storage from. And then I would also have a way of self-producing food. So if you do own your own house, your own property, you could have fruit trees, which is probably the least maintenance, a garden, chickens, and then you could start to expand that all the way up to homesteading with other animals. But fruit trees, a garden, and chickens are probably your best bet and simple way to have your own food supply. If you don't have a garden or trees, at least have seeds. Because if you have seeds, you can start to plant things at some point. So I suggest creating a seed vault for yourself and just storing seeds away is also a really good idea. My third step in preparedness is your energy. So for energy, you need a way to make a fire if you have to make a fire so you could cook over it. A solar generator, I highly suggest, because you could recharge it using either electricity or you could charge it using the sun with solar panels. A gas generator would be good as well, but in an SHTF situation, gas generators do make a lot of noise, and you have to get gas. You could get a dual fuel generator, which would have propane or gasoline, and propane lasts indefinitely. So you could store propane for forever, and it's not going to go bad or anything. So that would be my suggestion. And then also batteries. Pretty much everything that you would need runs on batteries. So whether they're rechargeable, you'll need the chargers, and then you'll need something to charge it off of, which would most likely in a grid down situation, I suggest a solar generator to recharge those. But if you don't have rechargeables, you'll need a resupply of batteries. So you should also store batteries. Next on the list to focus on is your personal security. So this is a very in-depth one. I do recommend that everyone in America exercises their Second Amendment right to have a firearm. And I suggest that you receive some type of training and have experience with whichever firearm. I do recommend a pistol as well as some type of long gun, so a rifle of some sort, with an optic and a white light. Magnification's good, so if you only have one rifle, I do suggest something with some type of magnification. If you have two, then you could have one without magnification and one with magnification. But I do suggest a pistol and a rifle, and then all the things that encompass that. So research, again, is going to be a very valuable thing to you if you have no experience in firearms and self-defense. I think another extremely valuable key in self-defense is having a dog. Dogs are man's best friend, and they're very protective of their loved ones, the right breed. They hear things before you hear things. They can see things that you can't see in the dark. And they're also a deterrent. Some people who see a dog instantly realize that there's a higher level of security there. So I think a dog, a young, strong dog especially, is very good for your security. And then there's things like armor, and also I could go back again and just reinforce the training. You definitely need to have training. And then along with all that is the knowledge to maintain those devices, your firearms, and how to take them apart, how to maintain them, how to clean them. So all those things fall into security. My number 5 on the list is shelter. You will need some form of shelter, even if it's not in your home. Your home is probably your first line of shelter that you will go to. And then you would also, if you did have to leave, you could be in a car, but a car probably isn't a very safe place to be sleeping in during an SHTF situation. So I would suggest having tarps and tents, knowing how to sleep outside, is going to be very valuable. Go camping, things like that is also part of your training when it comes to shelter, learning how to survive and take care of yourself from the elements, whether you're able to stay in your home or you have to leave. So shelter is number 5 on my list. Number 6 on my list is medical. I can also lump in hygiene with medical. So if you take any medications, you want to have a surplus amount of those medications that can last you a long time if you weren't able to resupply or there were no pharmacies or no doctors. The basics also are like Band-Aids. You should have a good supply of Band-Aids, as well as antiseptics and ointments, like Neosporin or Aquaphor or Polysporin, alcohol, peroxide. These are things that you should have a surplus of in case you're not able to get any more of them. And then you can get into, emergency medical, so trauma, things like tourniquets, nasal pharyngeals. You can get into, what's the one where you poke your leg? I forget the name of it at this time. It's escaping me. An EpiPen, EpiPens, Benadryl, all your medications. Certain medications could be considered emergency. Imodium, something that can stop your stomach if you drink bad water, or you're throwing up and you're defecating on yourself. If you lose too many fluids at once, then you could have a real issue there with dehydration. So Imodium, or something that can be a preventative to overusing the bathroom or throwing up, something that can keep stuff inside of you. And then there are companies out there where you can get antibiotics, and I think it's Jace Medical. And if you do more research, you'll find some people with discount codes and stuff for Jace Medical. So you should have all that kind of stuff. And then on top of that is training. Goes along with everything else, training and research. This is a video covering basics and some of the basics that you should start to focus on and start to learn about and start to acquire. So this is just a guideline, and you should expand on the knowledge that I'm providing in this video. My number 7 is community. So in an emergency situation, having people around you is very valuable. Having friends or family that, you could ride out a storm with, or a long-term grid down situation. Manpower is something that you can use to divvy up tasks and make things a little easier on a person. And then company, in a situation with a world with no internet or no television, then, things get pretty boring. So you would want to have people around you. I think that it's extremely valuable having people around you. And then you would also need to prepare accordingly for all these people. My very last key to survival is going to be longevity. And longevity is the thought process of sustaining all of these different survival skills for a lengthy time frame. You're going to want to be able to have water for quite some time. You're going to want to have food for quite some time, shelter. You're going to want to have your medical supplies that are handy, even if you have to use them one time. Your energy sources and your security. How long can you maintain all these 7 other things? And that's why number 8 is longevity. So these are my tips to survival. And I hope you find this very valuable. If you are an experienced preparedness individual, or a prepper, or you're just into self-preparedness, then please leave a comment, because a lot of new people may see this video who are not as experienced as you, and they're coming to check out this type of video for the first time to get prepared for all the things and craziness that we're seeing in society today. So if you're a very experienced prepper, which I know a lot of my channel followers are, then please leave a comment with any suggestions or anything else that I missed. I know that a lot of people who will see this video have a lot of knowledge and a lot of things to add, so please leave a comment. and like the video. And if you are new to this channel and you're just seeing this video, please subscribe, because we will be doing a lot more in-depth discussions and passing along knowledge that we learned, so we can share that out with everybody and hopefully get our communities more safe and more prepared, because it doesn't look like things are going to be getting much better anytime soon. And I think all of this knowledge and information is going to be valuable for us. So thank you for checking out my video. This is Red Dawn Readiness, and I will see you on the next one. Red Dawn Readiness, over and out.